Hello and welcome to another edition of The Buzz, along with co-host and mimicker Tom Behmer. I'm Jay Prauner.
Hi, Jay.
Let's begin once again this week with some kudos.
You got them?
Yes,
I'm hungry.
I do have.
All right, I'm on the same page as you now. I
right.
wasn't to begin with. Howells, as far as the U.S. Cellular Cup presented by the NSAA, it's awarded to schools that have success not just in sports, but in all activities. They have a point system brought up. Howells is the winner in Class D in the boys division as well as the all-school division. Lindsay Holy Family is the winner in the girls division in Class D. Those awards will be presented at each school's home football games on Friday.
My kudo goes to Quentin Jorgensen of the Wayne boys cross-country team. Believe it or not, I believe he's a senior. He actually ran a little too fast. It turns out that he won the boys division by 29 seconds. He was so far ahead of the pack that the Daily News photographer assigned to the event actually thought second place Dexter Patterson of Stanton was the winner. Therefore, that's why we had a picture of Patterson and not the winner, Jorgensen, in the paper. Sorry about that, Quentin.
And if you can outrun Daily News chief photographer Darren Epperly, you're really doing something out there.
Speaking of speedsters, let's go to our Eddie on the Spot. This week, Eddie interviews Lutheran High Northeast volleyball coach Kathy Gephardt.
Well, Coach, you had a great win tonight. I know that third set you got off to that quick lead, and then all of a sudden Norfolk Catholic came back. Was it gratifying to know that you could play a close set down the stretch?
Absolutely. We do need to experience that being in those close sets, but credit Catholic, they did. They really fought back. They never gave up. Even after the first two hadn't gone their way, they were right in there giving us everything they had. So,
how is it like playing a match like this in between two premier tournaments?
Right, exactly. And this is a great team for us to play. They push us, we push them. It's a great rivalry for us to have with them.
So, do you have any other final thoughts tonight? I know you guys were clicking on all cylinders. It seemed,
at times anyway. Yeah, definitely. Well, as we feel we have a lot of weapons, and we can keep other teams off balance because we do have so many people we can use. So yeah, felt good about that.
Hey, on to some football here, Tom. Let's talk a little bit of pro football. Just an interesting note: the NFC South goes 0 for 4 on week 1.
That is interesting. The NFC North went 3-1. The Vikings don't count.
Bravo. Second that. Let's talk some college football.
Okay, let's talk about it.
A little quirky thing happened. Sunday night, we went to bed and the Huskers were ranked 10th in the AP, but Monday night they were 11th. As it turned out, I think his name was Mark DeRucco of the Florida Times-Union transposed the Missouri and Arizona score, which Arizona won, which evidently flubbed up his poll, which in turn,
if you're taking the time to rate teams, wouldn't you do a little bit more than just look at the score? Maybe DeRucco ought to stick to making deli sandwiches. Or is that DeLuso?
I think to his credit, though, it was like a 23-20 overtime. I mean,
still.
I can
honestly, you're rating teams. You should know a little bit about those teams more than just the score. That's ridiculous. Nebraska shouldn't be that high anyway. Not because of the players.
Bottom line is Nebraska falls out of the top 10 to 11th.
Ouch.
Anything else in college? Otherwise, give me your take on last week's high school football weekend.
Last week's high school football weekend featured a big win for Bloomfield over Creighton. The Bees had a lot of talent last year. They suffered a lot of injuries. They have a lot of talent this year. In fact, they only have 2 seniors on their roster this year. Most of their talent's in their junior class. Quarterback Chet Beckman, I commented to several people on the sideline, he's kind of like a ballerina on the field. He likes to leave his feet to stay on his feet, if that makes any sense. But he had an incredible game. Alec Wilson, who's kind of a hybrid running back, he had a pretty good game too. They defeated the defending Class D1 runner-up. I ran into Howells coach Mike Spears at the game, who was recruiting Bloomfield because Howells had the off week. They're going to play this week, which should be another big game in Class D2. Although with Howells, it's tough to pick against them because anytime they take the field, if Vegas put the odds on Howells, they're going to come in as a 28-point favorite no matter who they're playing.
And I believe Tom meant scouting Bloomfield.
Did I say recruiting?
Not recruiting.
He's trying to pick up a few players for their
I know we're
stretch.
combining schools here lately, but Howells Dodge Bloomfield would be a little bit of a...
That's not a bad drive.
Hey, just when we thought the Daily News live streaming team had all the bugs worked out, it appears that there'll be no city games the next 2 weeks.
That is correct. I spoke with Skylar this morning, and she said, no games for the next 2 weeks.
So
That's a direct quote.
I guess mark it on your calendar that the next Daily News live streaming football game will be Plainview at Lutheran High Northeast on Thursday, September 29th.
When are the Eagle fans going to start doing the Auburn thing and chanting War Eagle? Or would that be sacrilegious to the world of football?
Not sure. We'll see. Come September 29th.
I recommend you start doing it, Lutheran High fans.
Thanks for joining Tom and I, and be sure to join us again next Wednesday for another edition of The Buzz.